contribute to this motion before us. This agreement between GNPC, as has already been indicated, Tullow Ghana, Cosmos Energy, and Investment Petrocel Ghana Limited. Right, Honorable Speaker, I believe that this extension couldn't have come at a better time than now, as we strive to ensure energy stability, especially with regards to gas production. Right, Honorable Speaker, the intention of this government has been clear from day one, that gas is a gas energy that must be pursued, because, right, Honorable Speaker, it saves this country a lot of money. Right, Honorable Speaker, I'm very much happy about this agreement because of the immense benefits it brings to this great country of ours. Right, Honorable Speaker, in the report on page 5, paragraph 4.5, right, Honorable Speaker, with your leave, I would want to highlight some of the importance we'll get from this. This agreement, right, Honorable Speaker, is sure to reduce gas price by 18% and increase volume, gas volume, right, Honorable Speaker, from 100 million square foot to 130 million square foot, with the potential of adding another 50 million square foot of gas, which will increase GNPC's. And also, right, Honorable Speaker, another thing that is worth noting is that GNPC's interest is increased by an additional 10% in this agreement, making in all, bringing the total to 22.5. I think we need to commend and commend the partners for the benefit that is bringing to this country of ours. Right, Honorable Speaker, we're talking about an injection of $2 billion. Right, Honorable Speaker, and a drilling of at least, right, Honorable Speaker, we're talking about 10 wells. And the impact, the benefit in the gas value chain that we stand to benefit from this agreement, right, Honorable Speaker, is one that we can celebrate. But most important, right, Honorable Speaker, for the record, this country stands to benefit. The value of Ghana from the extended field life is projected to yield, right, Honorable Speaker, $374 million to this state. And increased production volumes and prolonged revenues, and about $255 million in support of gas savings. So, right, Honorable Speaker, I believe there is enough justification to support this agreement, and I plead and call on the House, both sides, to support this agreement, which will eventually yield to the benefit of this great country of ours. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Darko Mensah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this great opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I believe that as the position was mentioned by the ranking member, this side virtually supports this project. Mr. Speaker, we know for a fact that not until 2036, Ghana will still hold 10%. It's only up to after 2036 that we'll get an additional 10%. And then we have a paid interest of 2.2 if we have the money to pay for it. So we shouldn't box it up and make it look as if we are getting 22% immediately. This will happen after 2036. Mr. Speaker, the other issue is that the investment that is going to be made is about $2 billion. And Mr. Speaker, we know that the gold that is sold in this country, small-scale mines alone, is $10 billion. So I believe that the investment they are going to make is not anything extraordinary. And I want us to start having this mindset that we should start looking at the possibility of Ghanaians ourselves doing these investments and making those monies for this country in full. Mr. Speaker, if you also look at some of the gains that they say we are going to get, that comes to about 374 million. Mr. Speaker, you compare 374 million to 10 billion. Clearly, it's nothing to write home about. It's nothing. And therefore, I believe that we should look at the possibility of Ghanaians doing this on our own, or if it's not GNPC, other Ghanaians raising the money to do this investment. Because, Mr. Speaker, we all know that not until 2007, when oil was discovered in Ghana, at that time, Ghana had not discovered oil. But currently, Ghana has been direct, and therefore anybody investing in this country knows that the possibility of getting oil or discovering oil is high. And therefore the negotiations, I believe that even though we are negotiating something that is starting 2026 today, gives a lot of advantage to the Talos, to the Cosmos, to Petro SA in negotiating now. Because if they had waited till the end of their agreement, naturally other persons would have come into the system and maybe given us a better offer. I believe that we should still look at this possibility and not wait till our hands are tied. Because currently, as we speak, they are negotiating from a position of strength, and we are negotiating from a position of weakness. Because if somebody is buying something from you today, something that you need in 40, clearly you should understand 40 years from now, you are virtually not negotiating from a position of strength. And I believe that these are some of the issues that we need to look at. In concluding, Mr. Speaker, I believe that with the additional drilling of the 10 wells, environmental issues are supposed to be looked at. And now that we have ESGs, I believe that we need to be monitoring and evaluating the situation going forward. Mr. Speaker, a lot of the coastal towns in Ghana, especially in the western region, keep complaining about the investments that has come into their localities because of the oil and gas exploration and the oil and gas companies. I believe that we should take advantage of this opportunity to ask for more for our local communities across the length and breadth of the country in support of this agreement. With this view, Mr. Speaker, like our minority said, we all support this project. And I believe that after 2040, all the oil and gas companies that have cited their headquarters in Accra, after making so much money, should not take the bold step to relocate back to the western region. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity.
Yes, minority leadership.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I find it very... Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to yield to Honorable Bama. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Bama.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on this agreement before this House. First and foremost, this is the first time in the history of our oil and gas industry that we've had opportunity to do an extension of a petroleum agreement in Ghana. So it's a novel opportunity that we have been faced as a country. Now, the first critical question I would want to ask is that the original agreement is supposed to terminate in 2034 and 2036. And we are in 2026. So ordinarily, the lifespan of the fields have about 8 to 10 years to exhaust. Now, the question as to the basis upon which we want to do an extension to 2040 requires us to go back to the Act, that is the Petroleum Exploration and Production Act 2016, Act 919, which gives the Minister of Energy, when there is an expiration of a contract or a petroleum agreement, two options. The first option is for the Minister of Energy to trigger an extension after negotiation or create a new petroleum agreement for the benefit of this country. Now, the Minister of Energy has opted for extension of the period. And so the question is, what does Ghana stand to benefit from this extension? The report indicates that there's going to be an investment, an additional investment of $2 billion, which cumulative benefit to Ghana beyond the investment is 340 something million to our economy. But the credit I want us to focus on is that, Mr. Speaker, GNPC is our national oil company, and GNPC was created to do commercial production or to enter into commerciality in terms of the oil and gas. So why are we not giving opportunity for GNPC's capacity since 2007-2010, when we started oil exploration, to be the agency to take over these oil companies when their period expires? Because GNPC has built capacity enough to be able to do this work once the contract of these petroleum agreements expire. So the Minister of Energy, for whatever good reason, is looking at an extension. But the country should take advantage of these petroleum agreements that expires to give it to our indigenous national oil company like GNPC to continue with these blocks, so that at the end of the day, Ghana will get all the benefits. Now, we are already in production. This is exploration process. We are already in production. So the cost of investment is not the same as doing exploration. So let's take advantage of our national oil company, which is GNPC and Exploco, to do this particular investment. Mr. Speaker, the second area that raises concern for the minority is the issue of the CIT, that is the corporate income tax offset. Mr. Speaker, how does CIT arise in the first place? A company makes a profit and the tax authority taxes it, and then you have to go and pay your CIT. Now, if the companies have to pay their CIT, which is supposed to be received by the government of Ghana, and because of other bodies' inefficiencies, if other bodies' inefficiencies cannot pay the gas agreement, the gas that they've entered into agreement, and then we are asking government to use CIT to offset those debts that are owed by the government, by government agencies, then we are supporting inefficiency, because the CIT is supposed to be revenue generated to the state, for the state to determine how it is going to be used when it hits the Petroleum Holding Fund. But here is the case: we are creating avenues for people to use inefficiencies in terms of their management to be able to offset taxes that are legitimately due to the state. So, Mr. Speaker, having looked at all of this, we are saying that as of 2025, government was owing $165 million to these Jubilee partners at the oil and gas sector. What has the minister done in recovering or making sure that these debts are paid, rather than looking into CIT to offset? And so this House is being invited, yes, the agreement in its entirety or intents and purposes, as a minority, we are raising the concerns, though we approve that this agreement should go. But certain matters that have been raised, building the capacity of GNPC to be able to take over the expiration of contracts or petroleum agreements so that we can maximize all the revenue benefits, and also making sure that we don't leverage on inefficiencies of state bodies to offset taxes, to offset legitimate taxes that should go to the state. And so this parliament can accommodate it for now, but I'm calling on both sides to be mindful that we don't set this precedent, because once we've done it, it is easy for any corporate body, any international body that has issues with government agencies to say that we did it for the Jubilee partners, we did it in the oil and gas industry, and so we should continue to use government revenue to offset taxes, which is a bad precedent we are setting. Mr. Speaker, without more, I want to say that on the minority side, as my ranking and others have commented, It is an agreement government has chosen to extend. We had various options to have given it to GNPC to take over instead of giving them an extension. And also, the largesse that we are giving them is of concern. But we will take it in good faith, knowing that in future, the House, both the majority and minority, will consider some of the issues. I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
It's now the turn of majority bench.
No, Mr. Speaker,
Majority bench. Let me hear you.
we don't have anything to say.